Welcome to Classified Captures.
Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from UFO sightings to clips of cryptids we never even thought could exist.
So don't you go changing. Let's get on with the video.
I don't know whether you believe in angels or not. They are scriptural.
Kicking things off with a strange one. Today's first clip comes from Lane, a drone operator from Louisiana, who had an unexpected encounter while flying his drone in a field.
This is the drone photo. There is nothing around him.
He'd sent his drone airborne, capturing photos of the area. However, one particular photo revealed something strange that Lane could not explain.
There's nothing anywhere around him. It's just a very flat field.
In the capture, Lane is seen standing in the field, but behind him, there appears to be a massive figure. He was, however, unable to decode or identify the figure, so he sent the photo to a professional analyst for further examination. After analysis, it was determined that whatever was in the photograph measured an astonishing 8 feet tall and 4 feet wide. What's even more unsettling is that Lane didn't see or sense anything unusual when the photograph was taken. He was completely unaware of this towering figure behind him. Despite the analysis, the exact nature of this entity remains a mystery. Naturally, when this got to the paranormal community, it became speculation and theory. Some thought it was a cryptid, aka Bigfoot, whereas others thought it had to be an otherworldly being. When this got back to my team, Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, felt like it had to be Bigfoot, but many in the team sided with him. With the exception of Julius, of course. He shook his head several times and told us it definitely had to be a tree. In order to not escalate the debates in the team office, I didn't offer my explanation, but you guys can offer yours. What do you think we're dealing with? Next, we've got an exciting innovation update. Scientists in Japan have developed tiny robots the size of ants. Made from iron shavings, these remarkable creations operate within a rotated magnetic field. What's even more impressive is that these ant bots can be controlled remotely and tasked with various jobs. With further advancements, they're expected to perform groundbreaking tasks such as clearing blocked arteries, potentially eliminating the need for invasive surgeries. This could revolutionize medicine and pave the way for countless other applications. Just think about it. Being able to avoid major surgery just because of this innovation. Oh, this is a future I want and certainly can't wait for. Julius, on the other hand, is a bit worried. He claims that evil men could utilize these things for evil purposes, including assassinations. Scary thought, I know, but ignore Julius. Hopefully it won't come to that. Moving on, we visit a clip allegedly from a concert that shows something rather disturbing. Did you catch that? Among the crowds, there's an individual standing whose body was made completely of light. That's not normal, right? When I first saw it, my inner Sherlock Holmes wanted to believe it was one of the lights hitting the participants of the concert, but after looking at it multiple times, it looks like the light was originating from the individual. He wasn't reflecting on it. Many in the paranormal community saw this and concluded it was an angel. Some even mentioned that the energy from the concerts sometimes creates an energy field that allows paranormal beings to manifest. A few decades ago, I would have thought that was just ludicrous, but today, however, thinks it's not impossible. You've seen the clip. What do you also think? Are we dealing with the supernatural, or is there a more supernatural reason for what we are seeing? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. While you do that, let's take a trip back to 2009. A young girl and a family were enjoying their vacation in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, staying at a cozy hotel by the beach. One sunny afternoon, she stepped out onto their balcony to film the breathtaking view. But what started as a simple video to capture the serene beauty of the coastline turned into something far more chilling. As she panned a camera across the beach and surrounding scenery, everything seemed normal until she turned the camera back toward the hotel. For a brief moment, the lens caught a glimpse of their sliding glass door, and that's when it appeared. Behind the glass, a strange face was peering from inside the hotel room. The face was wrinkled with a prominent oversized nose, staring silently back at the camera. The unsettling part, no one in the family noticed anything unusual during their stay. It wasn't until they returned home and reviewed the footage that they spotted this eerie figure. Though the family didn't experience any strange events during their trip, they couldn't shake the haunting thought: who or what had been watching them?
Beautiful Myrtle Beach.
This video has been making rounds on RedNote, the Chinese version of TikTok, but guess where this footage was taken? Not in China, but right here in the US in Los Angeles. Wait, did I call RedNote the Chinese version of TikTok? Oh, isn't TikTok also from China? Don't mind me, I was just thinking aloud. Now take a look at this craft. It looks eerily similar to the ships we see in sci-fi movies, doesn't it? Its sleek, futuristic design has left many people stunned. But here's the thing. No one has come forward to provide details about this craft, its purpose, or even where it was engineered. Could it be a secret government project, advanced tech from a private company, or something else entirely?
Wait, did I just call RedNote the Chinese version of TikTok? Isn't TikTok already from China? Don't worry about me. I'm just thinking aloud.
Do you see that? It's raining in just the area with the water puddle, if we can even call it that. Every other place is dry with no water. We've shared clips on this channel where it was raining on one side and not on the other side before. We found logical explanations for those because they do happen. I mean, these phenomena were localized rains, but this one, well, I'm not exactly sure what we're dealing with. Maybe it's still localized rain, but it's a bit smaller than what we're used to seeing. I'm afraid to ask Julius because of the way he looks at me when I ask him these questions, almost as though I ought to know the answers. It's intimidating. Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, however, thinks this is fake, or we've got a paranormal situation on our hands. You know, aliens, witches, and the like. Not sure what to make of that, but let's hear your thoughts.
Fancy feast, turkey and giblets feast. There's all the information. This is what I found today. This hair is growing out of the food that wasn't ate.
So, you know how we've always complained about the declining quality of food in our previous videos? This clip, however, takes it to a whole new level. The man in the shot bought cat food for his cat called Fancy Feast. Now, according to him, not everything was consumed. He went back to the leftovers and found this. There was actually hair, fungi, or whatever that was growing out of the container. I'm not sure why he picked it up with his hand, but that's definitely not safe and also very disturbing. Julius argues that the fungi growing in the food is a sign that it's real meat and that it's organic. He adds that if it was unnatural and overly processed, nothing would grow in it. Sure, he's being scientific and all, but I'm not sure anyone would want to see this. My mistake was saying it out loud, to which he told me that canned food shouldn't be left open for long. Anyway, Aaron thinks there is a conspiracy here. He thinks the companies are cutting corners and feeding the cats trash. What say you, and whose side are you on?
This hair is growing out of the food that wasn't ate.
I can't even sleep right now. I'm scared. Maybe we should go more in the middle.
This clip comes from a group of ladies who are out deep in the ocean. Given their voices in the original video, I'm pretty sure they were tourists out to enjoy the scenes at the sea. This trip of theirs, however, led to this sight. Not sure if you can make it out, but there are individuals walking in the sea. I repeat, there are individuals walking in the sea. That's not supposed to be possible. Swimming in the deep sea is hard enough, and let's not talk about walking in it. But that's what we are seeing, correct? So how is that even possible? Well, some individuals in the paranormal community believe we may be dealing with some previously unknown aquatic beings. There are some who also think the whole thing is fake, citing CGI and AI. While these two views are contradictory to each other, a few individuals argue it could have been staged with real actors. Not sure what to go with here, but one thing I'm sure of is the fact that your views are definitely needed here.
I can't even sleep right now. I'm scared. Maybe we should go more in the middle.
This footage was captured on a home security camera. A woman had left her kids playing in a room while she attended to something in another part of the house. Suddenly, she heard her daughter crying and rushed to check on her. Everything seemed normal, but the little girl was clearly upset. So she decided to review the security footage, and what she saw left her shaken. The child is sitting in a basket, happily playing, when out of nowhere, this happens. An unseen force aggressively pushed her hand upward, startling the little girl and causing her to burst into tears. Some members of the community argues it's definitely a ghost attack. They cite the unnatural movement of the girl's hands and body as evidence of this truth. Looking at the clip, anyone would be tempted to accept that analogy too, but not Julius. According to Julius, it's possible that the child may have just lost her balance while not expecting to. This can create the motion we saw in the clip. None in the office are having it though. The consensus is that this is a ghost attack. What say you? Do you see anything wrong with this photograph? No? Well, take a second look. Do you see it now? There's a creepy young girl in the image with the two ladies. Just in case you were thinking she was part of the photograph, she is not. This image was taken by two friends as a selfie one evening. It's as if with these images, they took the pictures and forgot about it till they were going through their photographs later and saw it. There was actually someone in the driver's side mirror when there was actually no one there when they took the image. It should have been dark, according to them, but here we are with the image of a young girl or at least something with a shrunken head. Some who saw the image told them it was a witch, while others were skeptical of the whole thing. Personally, I feel it could be either, but what do you also think? We can never get enough of the mystery surrounding secret facilities hidden in caves and mountains. It seems like every time we think we've seen it all, something new emerges. I came across two intriguing clips of strange entrances found in unexpected places. The first one was captured by a hiker exploring a canyon in Utah. As he wandered, he stumbled upon two heavy doors built directly into the mountainside. The doors were reinforced and securely locked, clearly meaning to keep people out. But what stands out most is the second door. It has a surveillance camera mounted above it, watching over the entry. What could be so important to monitor the middle of nowhere? The second clip is equally puzzling. A man, also in the middle of nowhere, found a solitary structure that looked like a simple porta-potty. However, there were no other signs of construction or civilization around it. Strangely enough, he didn't open it to investigate further, leaving us all curious. I mean, sure, I get why he didn't go inside. It's a total nope situation, but come on. We have to know. Are we talking about secret labs conducting experiments no one should know about? Hidden bunkers prepping for some apocalyptic endgame? Or is it something we haven't even imagined yet? And seriously, what's with the heavy surveillance in places that are practically in the middle of nowhere? Who or what are they watching? It's like the mystery keeps layering itself, and now I'm questioning everything. This next one's got me speechless too. Instead of saying anything, why don't we just take a look? Tell me you saw that. It looks like a human being, or at least a human body flying into the night. But how's that possible? Well, 5 letters. Ghost. At least that's how the original poster described it. This, according to him, was captured by his night vision cameras right outside his door. The being appears to have come from the home and ventures into the dark night. It's nothing short of creepy and has got the community excited. Many cited this as a genuine ghost encounter, well, at least from their point of view. While they chatted on excited about this great clip, a few logical ones like Julius pointed out that these could just be night vision cameras being exposed to the light. While that's very possible, it doesn't explain the unnatural movement. There's also the option that it was made using CGI and other tech manipulations. I'm going to resist asking Julius and Aaron about this one and take your expert opinions. What do you think is going on here? Just in case you're wondering, this mysterious stone was allegedly found in the pharaoh's sarcophagus and is rumored to accelerate blood circulation when it comes into contact with the body. We're not sure who released it into the public space, but the paranormal community has been divided on it. Some believe this is legit, whereas others think it's all made up to attract views and 5 minutes of fame. The Sherlock Holmes in me did some investigating and digging around and discovered nothing. There was literally no trace of this except for the one post that claimed it was from the pharaoh's tomb. A quick image search on Google did find some similar items, but they were nothing more than jewelry. Not sure how to interpret or take it, but you guys have seen it, so what do you think?
Check this out, guys. This is me walking. Takes 4 steps. 4 steps to make one of those. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Let me see. 1, 2, 3 steps.
Moving on to other things that need an explanation, a man in Alaska woke up one morning to find something strange outside his home. These massive tracks imprinted in the snow. The tracks were an incredible 4 feet wide. They appeared to be walking away from his property, leaving him baffled as to what could have created them. Out of curiosity, he tried matching the strides himself, but it took him 3 or 4 steps just to cover the same distance as one stride of whatever left the tracks. Large tracks like these are often associated with Bigfoot sightings. I mean, take a look at the distance between the prints, the depth, and the size. The majority of the community believes this is the real deal. But is it though? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the big guy, but it's also possible that these could be something else, perhaps another cryptid, because, well, I doubt any animal we know would make such big tracks. Anyway, what do you guys think?
Check this out, guys. This is me walking. Takes 4 steps. 4 steps to make one of those. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Let me see. 1, 2, 3 steps.
Up next is a clip from a family that have just moved into a house over a century old. Everything seemed normal at first, but as they settled in, strange things started happening. One quiet night, as the family was getting ready for bed, an eerie sound shattered the stillness, a loud neighing coming from their yard. The father, confused because, well, they didn't own a horse, decided to investigate. He headed to the living room and peered out of the window. At first, there was nothing but darkness. But as his eyes adjusted, he spotted it, a faint, shadowy outline moving across the yard. Grabbing his camera, he managed to film what might be one of the most chilling things we have ever seen. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but you get the picture. I mean, take a closer look at the footage. You can just make out what seems to be the ghostly figure of a horse gliding through the yard. Considering the age of the house and the odd experiences the family have already encountered, it's not hard to imagine that this could be the restless spirit of a horse that once lived and maybe even died on the property years ago. Some in the community feel it's a visit from the past of the property, whereas others think the man's overreacting and it's probably nothing but a shadow. We don't have to take their word for it, though, because you've also seen the clip, so what do you think? So someone on this channel sent us this close-up of a cryptid he'd encountered close to his home. According to him, he had to fight it off because it wanted nothing more but his heart. Well, that was a lie. Of course I'm lying. Was it believable, though? Did you buy it? I bet you probably didn't. Now, tell me I'm not the only one who initially thought this was real. I mean, the eyes, the face, the skin, and everything else. It might not be perfect, but just about as close as to what I would imagine the real thing to be. It turns out, though, that this is nothing but a prop for a set. So basically, we're looking at a man in a costume and nothing more.
What the f? Dude, this is out my bedroom window. That's crazy.
Next, we travel to Ecuador, where a resident captures something rather unusual on the 24th of December. We're not told where exactly in Ecuador this was captured, but looking at it, there's only one thing that comes to mind: UFO. Not sure how, but there it is. Naturally, when this hit the internet, everyone was excited about it. Some outrightly called it CGI, while others felt it was just too real to ignore. We're debating authenticity when Julius walked in. He asked us a question. When did Ecuadorians start speaking English like Americans with slang and everything? He left the room after asking the question, but It did get us thinking. Yeah, why did someone from Ecuador sound like an American, especially if this was recorded in Ecuador? Aaron mentions it could be a voiceover. He also mentions that it could have been recorded by an American living there. While I understand he's trying to make sense of the situation, he fails to clear the doubt Julius inserted with his question. I mean, it really sounds like the audio was recorded in real time, so either this whole thing is fake or the information surrounding the clip is wrong. Either way, what do you guys also think?
What the Dude, this is out my bedroom window. That's crazy.
I've never had an issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable stuff in my house, but I bought a guitar the other week at a garage sale from this old lady down the street, and every time I pick it up or strum it or play it, really weird shit happens, and I'll show you. It's some Lotus, like very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum, like that. Like that happens every time I mess with this thing. Shit like that.
Have you ever owned a haunted object? No? Well, let's take a look at this eerie footage shared by a man who believes he might have bought one. He picked up his guitar at a yard sale from an elderly woman in his neighborhood. Since bringing it home, he claims to have experienced some very strange occurrences. As soon as he strums the guitar, objects in the room begin to fall, and the lights flicker uncontrollably. Some skeptics are saying it's just a clever trick, but the man insists he's no history of paranormal encounters. Everything started after he brought the guitar home. This seems quite unsettling to me. Could the guitar really be haunted, or is it just a well-orchestrated hoax? I guess we'll never really know. Well, unless he lives near one of you, and you could visit him and verify his claim. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It's some Lotus, like very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum, like that. Like that happens every time I mess with this thing. Like that.
Have you ever seen water set paper on fire? If you asked me this question prior to seeing this clip, I would have laughed at you and asked if you understood how physics and the laws of this world worked. But here we are with a clip, probably from India, showing a couple of men standing in front of a water source, placing paper in front of it, and it actually lights up when the liquid touches the paper. Aaron does not have an explanation for this, and Julius has disrespected me enough to ask him for his views. So I have to fall back on you guys for this one. What's going on here? This footage right here is one of the trippiest I have ever seen. A man was driving when he noticed something strange about a pedestrian. Watch closely. It's a man taking off his jacket, but then this happens. Look again. Another man in a red hoodie seems to appear out of nowhere and casually walks by him. How is this even possible? You can't blame it on the camera angle because before the red-hooded figure shows up, it's clear that no one else is in the frame besides the man with the jacket. So what are we looking at here? Is it cleverly edited footage, or could there be something more mysterious going on?
Helicopters in the sky. Dark. What is it?
What are those three things right there?
What is that?
Record it.
I am.
You see them? What is it?
Why are they flying in the dark too?
A couple in Phoenix, Arizona shared an intriguing video they recorded on January the 22nd, 2025. In the footage, you can see a helicopter flying through the sky in pursuit of 3 other objects. These objects are unusual. They appear as dark shapes, almost like shadows, with no visible lights, yet their forms are clearly discernible. Could this be a UFO chase? What's fascinating is the lack of conventional indicators like flashing lights or identifiable shapes, which makes the sighting even more mysterious. Has anyone else witnessed something like this recently?
Wait, a helicopter in the sky. Dark. What is it?
What are those 3 things right there?
What is that?
Record it.
I am.
You see him? What is it?
Eita.
Que é isso? Passa, Thiago, passa, velho. Passa, velho, acelera.
What do you do when you encounter strange individuals in masks on such a lonely and dark path in the middle of nowhere? Personally, I'd floor it and get the hell out of there, but the brave lads in this vehicle decided to film it and drive slowly. I'm not sure of the story here, but that's the last thing you should do in any situation like this. What if they have lethal weapons? What if they're paranormal beings capable of phasing into your car? Do you get where I'm going with this? Either way, the original uploaders of the clip believe they may have stumbled into some sort of ritual ongoing in the woods. They're not sure which, but are glad to still be alive. What do you guys think of the whole thing? And would you have done the same thing in their situation?
Eita. Que porra é essa? Será que eu passo? Que é isso? Passa, Thiago, passa, velho. Passa, velho, acelera.
I know we've all probably come across logs while exploring the great outdoors, but have you come across one like this? It leads to the inside of a tree, and boy, it's huge and hollow. Do you think this naturally occurred, or did someone have something to do with it? Like, I don't know, maybe carving out the insides to make it a secret hideout or something? Let's hear your thoughts and experiences if you've ever come across something like this.
Who's there?
Dude, what the
Take a look at this eerie footage shared by a man who woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of his piano playing. Feeling unnerved, he grabbed his phone and crept into the living room to investigate. To his shock, he captured the piano keys moving on their own and even the chair by the piano sliding across the floor. Terrified by this, the man immediately ran out of the house and called a friend. While waiting outside, he noticed the lights in his house flickering erratically, though he never saw any physical activity. After this chilling encounter, he decided to move out of the house for good. He never got to uncover whether the house was truly haunted or not, but I think it's safe to say that it was. Not everyone believes in the supernatural, which might explain why some people ignored the warning signs. Perhaps he bought the house without realizing what he was getting into.
Who's there?
uncle in a tragic motorcycle accident. After the incident, she took his bike, fixed it, and parked it in an alleyway. One day, she found the bike in a different spot, which left her completely baffled. So she reviewed the CCTV footage from the alleyway, and what she saw shocked her. As you can see in the footage, there are several motorcycles parked in the alley. Suddenly, her uncle's bike begins to move on its own. It turns slightly before tipping over and falling to the ground. No one is seen touching it, and the other bikes remain untouched. Could this be her uncle's spirit returning to ride his beloved bike one last time? Or is there some other explanation for this bizarre incident? Next, we visit Florida, where some type of unusual creature has been caught on camera. Some are calling it a submarine, but I can't be the only one who notices this might be shallow water. If it's shallow water, I doubt we have a submarine there. Someone also mentions instead of it being a sub, it could just be an underwater spy drone. I'm not exactly sure if that's what this is, but looking at it, it could be anything, at least from my point of view. But what do you also see? A cat owner shared some creepy footage captured on a home security camera. In the video, her cat is sitting in the room, staring intently at two dolls on a chair. The cat seems focused on something as if watching something move, but nothing is visible to us. Then, suddenly, the cat bolts out of the room, clearly frightened. Now let's watch the footage again. Look closely at the dolls. You'll notice a shadowy figure briefly moving. The homeowner, who hadn't experienced any unusual activity in the house before, was shocked when she reviewed the footage. Given that cats are often believed to have heightened spiritual sensitivity, it's hard not to wonder if something was really going on here. Imagine standing next to a towering albino white giant, his snowy coat shimmering in the sunlight. This rare beauty isn't just a sight to behold, it's a record-breaking colossus. Meet Donetto, a Chianina bull that tipped the scales at an unbelievable 3,840 pounds. That's over 1,742 kilograms of pure muscle and power. But Donetto wasn't just about size. Bulls of this breed are known for their incredible strength. Picture this. One of these powerhouses could pull loads that would make modern machinery jealous. They were built for endurance and sheer force, traits that farmers have relied on for centuries. Yeah, it's not just the strength or size that makes this story so captivating. It's the perfect blend of rarity, beauty, and history. Albino bulls like this are already a rare sight, but one of these of this size, that's a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. What do you consider Donetto the ultimate symbol of nature's untamed power and elegance? Let us know in the comments section. Moving on from Donetto, we've got this clip that's allegedly from South Africa. I'm not sure we've seen anything move through the sky with this much color. Some in the paranormal community believe it's some sort of comet or meteorite moving through the sky. A number can't help but feel it's something else. To start off, comets usually have a bright burning color. This, on the other hand, has a multitude of colors. That alone makes people feel it's something else, perhaps something from another dimension. It's hard to say. Some also think it's AI and not real or genuine, but you've seen the clip, so what do you also think? If you have a pet, you should be familiar with scenes like this. If you didn't already figure it out, the man's dog, which I'm pretty sure is a golden retriever, brought him a hornet's nest as a present. Judging from how fast he ran, it's safe to say the hornets were not pleased with the change in their estate. The real estate market is volatile right now, and like many people, they prefer stability. What would you do if your dog pulled off a stunt like this? Would you share your birthday cake with a ghost? This woman was celebrating a 31st birthday, happily sitting behind her cake while her family filmed and sang for her. Just as the song was about to end, most of the candles on the cake blew out, leaving only 3 for her to blow out herself. The woman was visibly shocked, and you can even hear her family's surprised reactions in the background of the video. Watching the way the candles went out, it's obvious that they weren't blown out naturally, but if not, who or what could have done it? Could it have been a ghost joining in on the celebration?
Dime si o no eres una bruja. No. Entonces, ¿qué eres?
¿Estás segura si eres o no eres? ¿No eres una bruja?
A group of men decided to explore an abandoned house deep in the woods, but what they found right on the porch set the tone for something straight out of a horror movie. There it was, an odd-looking bird swaying back and forth, its wings drooped unnaturally, and the whole scene radiated an eerie vibe. At first glance, it felt like the opening act of some supernatural thriller, but after a closer look, it was clear the bird was just an owl. Here's where it gets interesting. Across many cultures and beliefs, owls are seen as mysterious symbols, sometimes tied to witches, evil omens, or even supernatural forces. Their nocturnal nature and piercing eyes don't exactly help their case either. Now, let's be rational. Maybe the owl was injured, which could explain its strange behavior and why it didn't fly away. But then again, could there be more to this sighting than meets the eye? Was this just a coincidence, or was the owl's presence a harbinger of something deeper? Something that we can't explain? What's your take? Injured bird or something more sinister? A subscriber sent this in, and it's truly one of the most baffling things we've seen. He captured footage of a waterfall, but instead of the water cascading downwards as you'd expect, it was moving upwards, seemingly defying the laws of gravity. At first glance, you might think it's some sort of optical illusion, but the footage is clear and the water is undeniably moving in the opposite direction. This strange phenomena could have a few explanations. It might be a rare weather event where strong winds push the water upwards, or perhaps something even more unusual is at play. Regardless, seeing something so familiar behaving in such an unexpected way makes you question what other mysteries nature might be hiding. Have any of you ever witnessed something like this? I came across this footage that highlights the animals humans consume the most per year, and some of the choices might shock you. Take a look. For many, it's unsettling to see animals like horses, camels, and even cats on the list. And yes, dogs are there too. It's chilling to think about that, especially if these animals are beloved pets in some cultures. Of course, it's no surprise that chickens top the list, given their prevalence in diets around the world, but the inclusion of animals like horses and camels, which are often seen as companions or work animals, can be quite disturbing. But then again, it boils down to culture and beliefs. While some animals are considered food in certain parts of the world, they're revered or even sacred in others. Which of the animals on this list are you looking forward to trying? As the days go by, the conversation around UFOs seems to be getting more serious and undeniable. Just take a look at this footage. A passenger flying over New York was filming out of the window when something strange happened. A flat object zipped by at high speed. It's so clear and sudden that it leaves little room for doubt. More and more, we're seeing footage like this, where not only eyewitness accounts but even radar recordings capture these identified flying objects. It's becoming harder to dismiss them as just hoaxes or tricks of the light. What do you think is happening here? Could this be proof that we're not alone, or is there still some rational explanation? Our first video of the day is from a woman who was hiking in the woods one morning. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going for hikes if the area is safe. We can't say the same for this lady, however, as she started feeling uneasy, like someone was watching her while she was out on her hike. Typically, people run when they feel threatened, but she took out her camera and looked around. Despite her best efforts to find whoever was stalking her, she found no one, or at least that's what she thought, until she noticed something strange. Ahead of her, between two trees, was a shimmering area, almost like a glass. Something was there with her, but it wasn't clearly visible. It was as if the air itself was bending or cloaking whatever it was. Some who have seen the footage claim it could be a cloaked alien or some form of advanced camouflage. Others suggest it might even be a portal to another dimension. I'm not particularly sure about this one, but what do you think? While you think about that, let's take a look at this one. We're not exactly sure where this was taken, but whoever is recording the clip appears to be before an opening to a very large facility. While the opening in itself appears to be interesting, it's not the star of the clip. If you carefully pay attention, you'll realize that there's a large, furry, humanoid creature moving in the entrance. The person recorded sees it, freaks out, and then the clip ends abruptly. I want to believe the person runs away, but it's not mentioned in the post or description. Instead, the individual is asking for help in identifying whatever that is. Some in my team have suggested it's the big guy, you know, Bigfoot. Now you've seen the clip, so what do you think? This footage is truly something that leaves you in awe. Imagine enjoying a peaceful day at the beach with your family, soaking in the sun and the sound of the waves, when suddenly the unimaginable happens. This family in Peru was doing just that, having a fun and relaxing day above the shore, when out of nowhere they noticed something hovering above a nearby mountain. It wasn't just an ordinary sight. Floating above the mountain was a disc-shaped UFO, clear as day against the sky. The sight was so unexpected and surreal that the family didn't even take a moment to process what they were seeing. They immediately ran away. While some might speculate about what this object could be, whether a secret military craft, a weather balloon, or an actual extraterrestrial visitor, the family's reaction speaks volumes. These kinds of sightings continue to fuel the ongoing debate about the existence of UFOs and what they might mean for us. Are they visitors from another world, advanced technology we don't know about, or something else entirely? The ocean truly is one of the most mysterious places on Earth, covering vast territories that remain unexplored. There have been countless stories and legends of giant sea creatures lurking in the deep, with many yet to be discovered or confirmed by science. Recently, some fishermen made headlines when they reportedly reeled in a giant creature. From the footage, it appears to resemble a massive snake with a fishtail, an odd and eerie combination. While the ocean holds many secrets, this footage looks more like a fabrication. The creature's appearance is strange, almost too bizarre to be believed. Julia screamed fake, and I wanted to chastise him for this, but not without having evidence. When I started scrutinizing the clip, I noticed something I hadn't noticed before. There's something funny going on with the hands of the one closest to the camera. No, I'm not calling it fake, but these things typically happen in clips created or edited with the AI, so what do you think? Real or fake? A group of hunters ventured deep into the woods on a mission to capture evidence of a yowie, a creature often described as Australians' version of a Bigfoot. They were prepared with infrared cameras and set up camp, waiting through the night. While the cameras went off a few times, alerting them to movement, the hunters never actually saw the creature with their own eyes. However, when they reviewed the images the next day, they found something chilling. In one of the photos, there was a massive creature standing right by them in the dark. Somehow, it had managed to get close without any of the hunters noticing. The infrared camera had captured what their senses had missed. What do you make of this? Could this be real evidence of the elusive yowie, or is there another explanation? The simulation theory has certainly sparked a lot of intriguing discussion, and every time a new piece of footage emerges, it reignites the debate in a fresh and fascinating way. This particular footage, taken during an ad break, is no exception. In the video, Montez Ford, a well-known wrestler, suddenly freezes in front of the camera. It's not just a brief moment of stillness, it's an eerie, prolonged pause that leaves everyone around him visibly confused. The people on set try to get him to move, waving their hands in front of his face, calling his name, and even a woman approaches to touch him. But nothing seems to snap him out of it. He remains perfectly still, like a statue, completely unresponsive. This bizarre incident has led to a wave of speculation online. Some people are saying that Ford isn't real, suggesting that he might be some kind of hologram or digital creation, a project of a glitch in the Matrix. Others believe that this is a genuine glitch in the simulation, where the reality we perceive had a momentary error and Ford's freezing was the result of that. On the other hand, skeptics argue that this could have been a deliberate act. Maybe Ford was playing a prank or performing some kind of performance art. Others suggest that it could be a medical issue or a hoax staged to get people talking. What do you think?
Aqui, ó. Misericórdia. Olha isso. Olha essa imagem, meus amigos.
This video, shared by a curious adventurer exploring the woods, captures an extraordinary and bizarre find. In a small, muddy water hole in the middle of the forest, he discovered an odd-looking skull partially submerged in the murky water. The skull had green, crystal-like eyes that seemed to glow with white pearls surrounding them. The rest of the skull was caked in mud, giving it an eerie, ancient appearance. When he lifted it out of the water, it was heavy, filled with the dirty water from the hole. What could this strange skull be? A relic from an ancient civilization, a piece of elaborate artwork, or something more mysterious? My money's on something more mysterious, but let me know what you think.
Então, pessoal, coloquei pra cá. Olha que sinistro isso aqui. E vai ter coisa aqui dentro. Isso aqui tá... Ó, tô falando? Olha isso aqui, já caiu aqui, ó.
A man was out fishing at Sali Lake, nestled by the Navajo Mountains, when he captured something extraordinary. From a distance, there was a large hairy creature. You can clearly make out the domed head and broad shoulders. According to the man, this was no ordinary animal. He insists it was a Bigfoot, and he saw it moving through the landscape. The creature's size and distinct movements left little doubt in his mind. I mean, the area isn't known to have any primates, so there's no way to fault his claim. Naturally, the online community can't seem to come to a unanimous decision concerning its authenticity. A large majority, however, believe it's the real deal, but what say you? The Tesla empire is undeniably a major force in advanced human technology, particularly in the realm of electric vehicles and renewable energy. Their innovations are impressive, from cutting-edge autopilot systems to sustainable energy solutions. However, with such rapid progress, there are bound to be issues that arise, and Tesla has had its fair share of complaints. Recently, while in traffic, someone captured footage of a blue Tesla car with a bloated back end. It's unclear what caused this, but incidents like this do raise questions about the reliability and durability of Tesla vehicles. People are left wondering if the benefits of owning such an advanced machine outweigh the potential risks. How many of us here own or would love to own a Tesla? What do you make of these videos? Do you consider them a cause for concern, or do you think people are just exaggerating to make new technology look bad? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. Just in case you didn't think that was mysterious enough, then this next one is for you.
Sorry.
The clip introduces us to a couple of fishermen offloading their catch from their fishing net. If you pay attention, however, you'll realize that the fish they're offloading is no fish at all. It looks like a mix of a human and a fish. Its upper body looks eerily human, while its lower body is fish-like, the kind of body you would attribute to a mermaid. I know what you're thinking. Mermaids, are they even real? Well, we've had a lot of evidence on this channel over the videos to suggest they do. But just like this clip, they haven't been definitive enough. If we have learned anything from the many videos we've made, however, it's that the absence of evidence of the existence of something is not evidence of its non-existence. Speaking of evidence, do you think this would count as one for the existence of merfolks? Let us know in the comments section.
Sorry.
So and look, all his tentacles are fully attached. Once you put that in the water, wow. I'm gonna do a nice video on that one.
Holy.
A man came across this peculiar round-shaped object on the beach. Curious about what it was, he picked it up and later placed it in the water, and that's when the real surprise unfolded. As soon as the object touched the water, tiny tentacles began to unfurl and spread apart, revealing a fascinating structure. What you're looking at here is a sea organism known as Porpita porpita, commonly known as the blue button. Despite its name, the blue button isn't actually a jellyfish, though it shares some similarities. It's more closely related to the Portuguese man-o-war. But unlike its more dangerous relative, the blue button is mostly harmless to humans. Its vibrant blue color and delicate disc-shaped body make it a striking sight, both in and out of the water. The tentacles are used by the organism to catch tiny prey like plankton as it floats on the surface of the ocean.
Once we put that in the water, wow. I'm gonna do a nice video on that one.
A farmer recently shared intriguing footage online claiming to have captured something unusual on his property. In the video, a small creature can be seen walking on two legs with humanoid features but an oddly shaped oversized head. The farmer believes the creature is a duende, a mythical creature known in various cultures, often depicted as a small mischievous being. However, not everyone is convinced. Julius, for instance, argues that this footage could simply be a product of AI manipulation or digital trickery. Given the rise in AI-generated content, it's becoming harder to differentiate between what's real and what's artificial. So what do you think? Could this be a real duende sighting, or is it another case of digital coaxing? This video was captured in Brighton, Ontario back in 2023. A woman noticed something incredibly strange in the sky. There appeared to be two moons. One of them was bright and unmistakable, likely the actual moon. However, further ahead in the sky, there was another round, glowing sphere that looked eerily similar. The second orb was much dimmer, but its shape and positioning made it stand out. What could this mysterious second object be? Could it be a reflection, a celestial event, or something entirely different? Aaron's money is on it being an alien craft, but then again, it's purely speculation. What say you?
On regarde les étoiles. C'est trop beau. On n'est pas bien là. On n'est pas bien là. Ah. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Oh putain, ça... C'est quoi ce bordel?
These two girls were out one night in the middle of the road. They lived in a small town, and since it was pretty late, everyone was indoors, and there were no cars driving by at that time. The girls seemed to have come out to get a smoke, and their hysterical laughter suggests they might have been a bit high at the time. One of them had a camera, and the other was barefoot. They seemed to be having the time of their lives when something unexpected happened. In the dark at the end of the road, as far as they could see, they noticed something. It was a very tall, dark figure standing there staring at them. The figure then began walking toward them when the girls quickly ran away as fast as possible. The sudden shift from laughter to fear adds an unsettling twist to this late-night encounter. What do you think this figure was? Is the clip even legit, or are they simply looking for their 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts in the comments section. While you digest the previous clip, take a look at this. The clip starts with someone taking a walk through the woods. The journey abruptly ends when he sees this. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like worms or intestines moving through the mud. It's not a sight you see every day, and that's definitely why the one recording stopped in his tracks. What do you make of it? This is one I would love to hear your voice on. In this next clip, we have a compilation of security footage captured at a military base in Lima, Peru. These airy, ghostly figures were spotted moving all over the base. Just take a look at that. The way these figures glide across the screen is unnerving, almost as if they're not bound by the same physical rules we are. But what could they be? Are they ghosts, remnants of some past event haunting the grounds, or could they be something else entirely? Cloaked alien creatures perhaps hiding in plain sight? What do you think these figures might be? Ghosts, aliens, or something else altogether? This man is walking down a hallway when out of nowhere a dark, shadowy figure rushes into him, knocking him hard against the wall. He stumbles backwards, clearly caught off guard, but the unsettling part is what happens next. The shadow appears to grab him, dragging him across the floor and around the corner of the hallway. The man struggles with the shadowy figure, desperately trying to break free. For a moment, it looks like he might not escape, but after a tense struggle, he finally manages to free himself. Without wasting a second, he bolts out of there, leaving us to wonder, what was that thing? Was it something paranormal or an illusion? What do you think? Could this be a case of a malevolent spirit or something else entirely?
And we are witnessing that today. The other value of technology, I will point out, was after a round of intense finishing conversations and negotiations over the weekend that started on Saturday morning with the speaker, myself, and the trade rep, Robert Lighthizer.
There are countless videos online showing people wearing hyper-realistic silicone masks, blending in seamlessly and changing their appearance. These masks can be incredibly deceptive, making it difficult to tell if someone is hiding behind one. But there's one thing about them that often gives it away: the facial expressions. The creases on the forehead, the way they smile, it all appears forced and very unnatural. Now let's take a closer look at this next footage. Focus on the woman standing behind the man who's speaking. Pay attention to her facial expressions. Notice how she blinks far too often and widens her eyes every now and then. It just doesn't look natural, right? Something about it seems off. Is it possible that she's wearing one of these masks, or is there another explanation for her strange behavior? What do you think?
The speaker was on a hunting expedition. We spoke with him frequently. But the speaker talked to me earnestly about, we're near.
This video was taken at sea by one of the fishermen aboard a fishing boat. They had made a huge catch that day, and as they were hauling the heavy net out of the water, things began to take a strange turn. The fish were thrashing wildly, almost as if they sensed something unusual. Then something truly unsettling happened. A webbed hand reached out from the net, attempting to grab one of the men who was struggling with the heavy load. The man was quick to pull back. The The hand quickly retreated into the depths of the net, disappearing as quickly as it appeared. This begs the question, had they inadvertently captured a mermaid or siren? The mere thought sends chills down the spine. After all, it's not every day that one encounters something so bizarre and unexplainable. What do you think? A man came home one day to find one of these orbs inside his house. It was glowing and emitted a low buzzing sound, almost as if it was electrical. The orb floated around the room, but he did well to keep his distance. He didn't dare get as close as it drifted through his home. In another case, a different homeowner captured footage of a glowing orb at his doorstep. It hovered outside for a short while before zipping away into the woods at lightning speed. All around the world, people report seeing mysterious glowing orbs. These spheres have baffled witnesses for years, with some speculating they're balls of lightning, while others are convinced they're linked to extraterrestrial activity. These encounters raise so many questions. Are these orbs truly real? If they are they just rare forms of lightning, or could they be something more, perhaps some kind of alien technology or entity? Have answers? Well, share them with us in the comments section if you would. And while you wrestle with the authenticity of that clip, this next one doesn't make things easier. Take a look. Yes, sirree, that's not connected to any gas outlet, yet somehow there's a fire which has confused even the individual holding it. When I saw this, I felt there must be a little gas left in the tube, but even if that's the case, well, shouldn't it have run out, or the strength of the flame decreased a little at least? Well, Julius couldn't believe me and refused to comment on this, so I'm on my own. Or am I? Can you guys share your thoughts? Do you think this is truly a supernatural feat, or is there some logical explanation behind this? While on a boat ride in Costa Rica, a woman captured something extraordinary.
Bro, look at that. It's a whole head halfway underwater. That shit is crazy.
In the distance, she saw what appeared to be a giant head with half of its face submerged under the water. Naturally, this has sparked a lot of interest and speculation online. One commenter suggested that this could be a case of pareidolia, a phenomenon where the mind perceives familiar patterns like faces in random stimuli. This explanation might make sense, as natural formulations or reflections in the water can sometimes create illusions that look remarkably like human features. However, others believe this might be evidence of something more mysterious, perhaps even connected to the legends of giants. I have much to say about this, but perhaps in a separate video dedicated to giants. In the meantime, don't hold back on sharing your thoughts.
Bro, look at that. It's a whole head halfway underwater. That shit is crazy.
They always say microwaves are dangerous, but in this fast-paced age where you need to quickly warm your food or bake a DIY cake, microwaves feel like a lifesaver. However, take a look at this footage and tell me what you think about microwaves afterward.
Holy shit, guys, you've got to watch this. You've got to watch it. You've got to stay with me, watch this quickly. I'm going to turn you... Okay. Boiling water in the microwave. We're going to take the water out. Put it there, look. And we're going to test it. You watching? That is going off, look. You see that? That's out of the microwave, guys. That is going off, isn't it?
In the video, a man heats water in the microwave, takes it out, and uses a standard electromagnetic radiation EMR detector. As soon as he brings the detector close to the water, the device goes off, beeping non-stop. Even if you are like me, who doesn't know much about this stuff, you're likely to conclude that this doesn't look good. And that's what I did. I showed it to my team, and they said things like, "Imagine the amount of radiation we're exposed to from warming our food. Microwaves are incredibly convenient, but this demonstration proves we shouldn't have them in our homes." I kept going on and telling everyone we ought to be concerned and needed to make sure we didn't have radiation in our homes. I almost said this was one of the reasons for cancer. Everyone has had enough, and that's when they brought Julius in to address me. Julius, being Julius, that is the team's science whiz, looked at me and smiled. He told me he knew how I loved conspiracies, but there was actually nothing to worry about. He then explained that the type of radiation used in microwaves is non-ionizing, meaning it doesn't have enough energy to remove tightly bound electrons or ionize atoms or molecules. Non-ionizing radiation, such as microwaves, is generally considered safe and is not known to cause cancer. Seeing I was confused, he used examples. He stated that ionizing radiation like X-rays or gamma rays is the type that can cause damage to cells and DNA, leading to cancer. Microwaves don't fall into this category. I questioned him about the man's device, and he stated that standard EMR detectors are designed to measure electromagnetic fields in the environment. They could detect EMFs from various sources like electrical appliances, cell phones, and other electronic devices. If an EMR detector beeps when brought near heated water, it might be detecting residual heat or steam rather than electromagnetic radiation. EMR detectors are not typically sensitive to heat or steam, so this could indicate a misunderstanding or misuse of the device. He also added that the video seems to misinterpret what the EMR detector is measuring. The beeping might be due to other environmental EMFs or a malfunction of the detector. It made me go back to the comments section of the clip, and most of the science whiz on our platforms was saying the same thing. Some even stated that the bowl might be the reason for the beeps. Now, what he said makes a lot of sense, so I'm tempted to believe him. But guys, what if Julius turned on us? What if the microwave companies and the government paid all the science guys to say this? Should I be worried, or am I just being paranoid? You tell me.
That is going off, look. You see that?
Next, we have an intriguing oceanic encounter where an odd-looking reptilian creature is spotted with its head above the water. The creature bears a resemblance to a large lizard, akin to a Komodo dragon. However, the fascinating aspect is that traditional Komodo dragons are primarily terrestrial and not known for their swimming abilities. Seeing a head that looks like a lizard coming out of the water does seem strange. It's however crucial to think about the chance that it might be a different kind of creature or an instance of convergent evolution. This is when unrelated species evolve similar characteristics on their own. Marine iguanas, for instance, are known to swim and are found in the Galapagos Islands. These reptiles have adapted to life in the water, utilizing their tails for propulsion. But without any more details on the location of this sighting and clearer footage, we cannot really be sure of what we're dealing with. Does anyone have an idea? This person was captured at the moment when a sea of mud just erupted through a brick wall and gushed into the streets, flooding the whole place. Mud flows, also known as mudslides or debris flows, can occur in areas with loose soil or sediment, particularly after heavy rainfall or during geological events like earthquakes. This poses a significant hazard to communities as they can swiftly inundate homes and infrastructure. In this case, I think it was after rainfall because the weather looked cloudy, or am I just seeing things?
First, but one, I'm gonna get. You can. No, you'll be fine. I'm just gonna get more footage of the Sasquatch. Okay, seriously, look how big it is. It's just chilling.
This video was taken in Provo, Utah. A man was out enjoying the view over the mountain when something caught his eye. As he zoomed in on the distant mountain, what appeared on his screen was nothing short of chilling. There, standing on two legs, was a dark, towering figure that looked almost like a living shadow. The creature stood motionless, its silhouette stark against the landscape. What's even stranger is that the mountain was so far away that if it was a human, you wouldn't be able to see it at all, let alone so clearly. The figure was massive, much too large to be a person from that distance. It's hard to imagine a bear or any other animal standing on two legs perfectly still for such a long time. So what exactly are we looking at? Could this be a Bigfoot sighting, or is there something else lurking in those mountains?
Lead first, but one. I'm gonna get. You can. No, you'll be fine. I'm just gonna get more footage of the Sasquatch. Okay, seriously, look how big it is. It's just chilling.
Still on aliens, take a look at this clip that popped up online a few months ago. Could you count the legs on that thing? I counted 5 or 6, but I'm not so sure given the blurry nature of the clip. This was allegedly captured by an individual while traveling at night. Now, we don't know where the clip was taken or what the particular context is, so everything we say will basically be based on speculation. As always, I shared this clip with my team members, hoping to solicit their views, and we had 2 schools of thought. Julius and his team thought it was fake, while Aaron and his disciples believed this was real. If you ask me, however, I would say it could go both ways. Now, the clip is grainy and blurry, preventing any thorough analysis. Julius thinks it was intentionally made that way to prevent it from being exposed. Aaron, however, has a contradicting view. He believes the clip was spontaneously taken with a bad camera device in low light, which explains the poor quality. He argues that if the quality was any better, then we would have to doubt the clip, because no one would be carrying high-resolution cameras while traveling at night. What do you guys think? This image was taken by a mother while she and her son were exploring the Cougar Mountains in Washington. The boy, mesmerized by the glowing aurora borealis lights above, raised his hands toward the sky and told his mother that he was trying to reach out and touch his angel. Moved by the innocent gesture, she decided to capture the moment, not realizing how extraordinary it would later appear. When she reviewed the capture, she was shocked to discover something she hadn't seen before. It was a strange hand reaching down from the sky toward her son, almost mirroring his own outstretched hands. Could it be that the boy truly saw his angel? Could it be a sinister spirit or being? Or did she lie about them not editing the clip? Julius, of course, believes it's the latter, but what if, just what if, they're telling the truth? The brain relies heavily on muscle memory, which is how we manage to move through our daily routines with ease. This next footage demonstrates how even the smallest change can disrupt that muscle memory. Take a look at these people climbing a staircase. Each time they reach a particular step, at least one person stumbles. You may be wondering why this keeps happening. Well, here's the reason. That specific step is slightly different in height compared to the rest. As people ascend, their brains have already calculated the rhythm and stride they need for the steps. But when they encounter a different one, it throws them off balance, causing them to stumble. It's fascinating how our brain and body work in sync through muscle memory. Even the smallest deviation can disrupt our usual patterns. Nocturnal creatures have special eyes that help them to see through the night and also reflect light, so you'll often see a pair of eyes floating in the dark when these creatures are around. In this trail cam footage, however, people are unsure if the eyes belong to an animal or something ominous. In the footage, we can see an unsuspecting moose standing in a field in the dead of the night. Behind it is a woodland, but in the woodlands are eyes floating in the dark. They seem to be stalking the moose as it moves strangely. Nature enthusiasts and skeptics alike are left pondering the identity of these eyes. Some argue it could be the calculated gaze of a mountain lion or a stealthy cougar silently maneuvering through the shadows. However, the plot thickens as a faction of believers emerges, suggesting a more cryptic presence. Could it be the elusive Bigfoot lurking in the darkness and keeping an eye on the unsuspecting moose? Next, we have this clip from the Philippines where citizens are seen collecting hundreds of fish. What makes this unusual isn't the number of fish being collected. No, it's the fact that these fishes are willingly coming themselves. Now, the skeptics might be rubbing their eyes, wondering if this is some kind of fishy prank or a well-coordinated community event. The truth is, no one knows how or why this is happening. Could it be a covert operation by the marine world to share their bounty with land dwellers, or perhaps a case of underwater Uber Eats gone rogue? The curious onlookers seem content, treating it like an unexpected gift from Poseidon himself. But the question remains, what's causing this underwater migration to the shore? Could it be a volcanic eruption stirring up the aquatic residents, or is it a supernatural intervention by the oceanic deities to provide for their people? Share your thoughts. While you ponder on that, take a look at this. What do you think that is? It appears to be some sort of reptilian creature, but after cross-checking the image with many others and asking around, I haven't been able to find out exactly what I'm dealing with. This has left me thinking it can either be one of two options. The first is that this is some sort of otherworldly creature, and the second, that this is an AI creation. But what's your money on? A Sasquatch hunter by the name of Jeff was out in the woods when he captured these images of what he believed to be our elusive big guy staring at him from behind some bushes. In the image, just behind the leaves, you could make out the outline of a very large nose and eyes, and then a hairy head. This isn't human. Though the footage is pretty blurry, the features of the creature appear to be much bigger than those of a regular primate. Could this be evidence of the legendary Sasquatch, or is it just another case of mistaken identity? Jeff certainly believes he's onto something, but with the image being so unclear, it's hard to say for sure. What do you think? Imagine throwing your shoe into the sky and instead of falling like we would all expect, it vanishes. It might sound like a magical trick or a fictional tale. Well, this happened to a group of men in Brazil. This group of men were having a guys' night out at an outdoor bar when they noticed a mysterious shining object in the sky. At first glance, you would think it's just a star, but just wait and see what happens. Two of them decided to investigate, and one brave soul daringly removed his slipper and threw it at the shiny object. Incredibly, the slipper vanishes into thin air. Even more astonishing was that the shiny object they were studying suddenly took off, sending the entire group into a frenzy. As you can witness, they were all shouting and scrambling away in fear. What do you think they saw? Some kind of fairy or what? And who can explain how the slipper just vanished? We normally hear about cases of children being born with two heads and one torso, a rare medical phenomenon. But have you ever considered that similar occurrences might happen in the animal kingdom as well? Well, let this clip do the talking. Enjoy the footage. Recorded by a woman who's utterly amazed, this footage captures a deer peacefully grazing on grass. The sight was just serene, beautiful, and therapeutic. She decides to film the whole thing, but that's when she notices something astonishing. The deer she's filming has 2 heads and 1 torso. While it's difficult to fathom, this isn't the first instance of such a phenomenon. There have been records of such occurrences in the animal kingdom. As she ponders the mystery, she soon realizes that there's no mystery at all. The footage is nothing but the result of a visual illusion. There are actually 2 deer in the picture, but the positioning of the 2 animals and the perspective of the Trailcam capturing the image makes it look like one creature. But imagine a 2-headed deer. The sight and thought of it is crazy, right? In the heart of the dense woods, this curious, mysterious entity revealed itself. It's a creature that defies any known or conventional classification. With the body of a human shrouded in a coat of brown fur and the unmistakable head of a canine, this being bore the hallmark features of the legendary Dogman. As the camera zoomed in, the creature's form becomes more pronounced, its presence both mesmerizing and unsettling. The Dogman, a figure steeped in folklore and tales of the unknown, seemed to step out from the shadows of myth into the realms of the tangible, if only for a fleeting moment. The authenticity of such sightings often sparks debates. Does this footage capture a genuine encounter with an elusive creature, or is it an intricately crafted hoax designed to fuel the fires of speculation? Do you believe in spirit beings? You do? Have you heard of the duende? If you haven't, you're in luck. Enjoy. Yeah, that's one of them. It looks like a mini human, and the man recording is even shocked. For those of you that don't know what a duende is, it's a supernatural creature or spirit often associated with the forest. It's known for its mischievous behavior and is similar to other mythical creatures found in different cultures, like elves or goblins. Well, irrespective of whether you believe it or not, we are seeing one in this footage. The individual recording states it's Colombia, which is also known to have these creatures. So has any of you ever had an encounter with these creatures? Do you even think this footage is real at all? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have an image that was recorded by a couple while they were working together to refurbish their mobile home. Let's take a look. Imagine hearing strange noises over a period of time and feeling like someone was peeking into your mobile home from the windows at night. Imagine having no proof and deciding to set up a camera to juxtapose the window. Now imagine checking the captures and footage to see the image on your screen right now. What creature do you think this is? If you said you didn't know, well, you're right, but what if you did know? I mean, I'm very convinced that it's Bigfoot. Take a look at those facial features. Do you know any other creature with similar features? Bear in mind, there are no apes in the region where this was taken, at least according to the narrative of the couple. If this is Bigfoot, we have questions. Are they becoming increasingly reckless and allowing themselves to be seen, or is there a secret and grand agenda we're not aware of? That appears to be the case if you ask me, but what do you think? Let's dial it down a notch and get right into the heart of this intriguing story. A man is out on his property, minding his own business, when he hears some rather strange noises coming from the woods. Naturally curious, he decides to pull out his camera and start recording just in case he stumbles upon something interesting. As he pans his camera through the trees, what does he spot? Well, it's not your everyday woodland critter, that's for sure. It's more like an enigmatic creature lurking in the shadows, adding an air of mystery to the scene. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't the first time our property owner has sensed something unusual out there. He's noticed peculiar movements and heard strange sounds that are a bit of a head-scratcher. It's like a mix between a dog's bark and a child's voice, and it's enough to raise an eyebrow or two. So naturally, the debate rages on. Some folks are quick to label it as a sighting of the legendary Bigfoot, while others are intrigued by that dog-like sound and think it might be the infamous Dogman. What's clear is that this is one of those puzzles that keeps us guessing, trying to figure out what exactly we're dealing with. Is it a Bigfoot, Dogman, or something entirely different? You tell us. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen, as we shift gears from the enigmatic woods to the eerie realm of a bus station, where the inexplicable continues to unfold. Our protagonist is a woman standing with an unsettling stillness on one side of the train tracks, as though ensnared in a trance. When someone intervenes to pull her from harm's way, her subsequent behavior defies the expected. Her movements are erratic, like an NPC in a video game, eliciting a sense of otherworldliness. The question of what could be wrong with her takes center stage, prompting speculation about the potential factors at play. The trance-like state and subsequent peculiar behavior might stem from various sources: a medical condition, a psychological episode, or even the influence of substances. The footage leaves viewers in a state of bewilderment, grappling with the unsettling sight of a person seemingly disconnected from the norms of human behavior. Before we move on to the next video, just another reminder: if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send that Bigfoot after you. And don't forget to share with friends and family as well. Thank you very much. The line between fantasy and reality blurs in a captivating video that unveils what appears to be a lifeless dragon lying on the ground. While dragons are traditionally creatures of folklore and fairy tales, the recent surge in reports of strange creature sightings injects a sense of uncertainty into the narrative. The footage, though seemingly fantastical, prompts contemplation about the possibility of extraordinary beings existing in the world. Could this be a genuine glimpse of a creature that transcends the boundaries of myth and folklore, or does it perhaps unveil a carefully crafted spectacle, blurring the lines between reality and the fantastical? As if we haven't had enough surprises for today, take a look at this footage taken by a drone. It looks like some sort of chamber built between a mountain. It looks like some kind of hideout, but the real question is, who built it and for what reason? Some skeptics believe it's a Bigfoot lair, while others think it's some kind of alien hideout. Some also believe it's the Ancient Ones, and while we can't verify any of these claims, it's evident that whatever built the place must have been pretty smart to come up with something like this. Paranormal critics say it was built as a safe chamber during the World War era and that there's nothing special about it. Others state it's a tourist site but don't mention where. So before I jump on the boat and declare my stand, can any of you confirm whether this is a well-known location or if it is indeed a newly discovered and alien location? We'll be reading the comments. This next Trailcam image was captured during the eerie hours of the night, a time when the unknown often comes alive. Take a look. In the midst of this seemingly desolate setting, an unexpected presence emerges. Is this a cryptid? Could it be Bigfoot or perhaps a pale and ghostly humanoid figure? Well, not exactly. A golden light graces the night sky, offering a unique sight. It takes the form and appearance of an orb, which only leaves many questions. If you're new to this channel, you might probably be wondering what I'm going on about. If you're a veteran here, you know orbs in the night are usually a sign of spiritual and supernatural activity. One question remains, though. Is this one such activity, or is there a more logical explanation for this? Share your thoughts with us. Have you ever seen chickens play the freeze game? If you haven't, boy, are you in luck. Enjoy.
Oh, goodness. Where y'all going? Where are you going? You ready for some grubs? Let's go!
A man owning a poultry farm walked into his birds standing still for what looked like 4 to 5 minutes. Perplexed, he recorded the whole thing and posted it online. How is this even possible? The truth is, it shouldn't be, and the thought of it is just bizarre. Jesters who saw the whole thing told him his birds were probably playing the freeze game. You know, that game where you stand still after the music stops. While that's something fun to think about, our paranormal enthusiasts think the whole thing is a glitch in the Matrix. What do you guys also think? This next one is a compilation of deer exhibiting strange behaviors. They even, dare I say, look possessed. You can see the animals rolling on the ground, some moving in circles and some aimlessly running about. As much as some would like to classify this as paranormal, it's not. Yes, I did say they looked possessed, but with a little research, you'd realize that these animals are actually suffering. The cause behind these distressing actions is not of supernatural origin, rather it points towards a tragic and real condition known as chronic wasting disease. This malady affects various deer species, causing neurological degeneration, behavioral abnormalities, and eventually death. It's a devastating condition, and the footage serves as a poignant reminder of the challenges that wildlife faces, including disease that can impact their populations. While the scenes are unsettling, understanding the natural causes behind such behavior allows us to address these issues with empathy and work toward the conservation and well-being of our fellow inhabitants on this planet. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us to make more videos like these ones for you. Thank you so much. Now, back to today's episode. Let's take a look at this next footage that was uploaded to the web by a farmer named Cassie. Cassie and his girlfriend lived on a spacious farm property where he usually shares videos of their farm life. However, recently eerie nighttime noises have disrupted their peace.
So, I don't know what to do here.
Did you catch the noise in the footage? It sounded like the cry from some sort of animal, but they just couldn't put a finger around the exact animal. It sounded like a howl, but not like that of a wolf or a dog. So what could it be? No one knew, at least until one night when the noise woke Cassie from his sleep, prompting him to investigate. What he found was a strange creature lurking in the darkness. The creature's eyes glowed ominously in the darkness. Fortunately, he had a gun with him, so he fired a few shots that scared the creature away. A few days later, the howling began again, and the farmer once again went out with his gun to investigate because his girlfriend said she heard some noise on the roof. When he went out to check, there the creature was, standing on the roof and glaring down at him. When he tried to get a closer look, the creature was long gone, leaving a pile of bones on the roof. The paranormal community believes it could be a werewolf or dogman, but the skeptics doubt it. In fact, they believe it's a hoax to garner attention and likes. Which is truth? Well, no one knows for sure, but what do you think? Still on the bizarre and unexplainable, watch this footage. In the footage, we see a raccoon in its natural habitat that appears to be going about its business. Unbeknownst to the little critter, it walked within the field of view of a trail camera set up in that deserted part of a forest. The raccoon, oblivious to the fact that it's being spied on, is foraging for food like it would any other day. As cute as this little critter is, pay attention to the top left side of the screen. Do you see it? A set of lights appears from nowhere and quickly disappears as soon as they appear. They're reminiscent of airplane lights, but the area where the footage was taken from is no flight zone. So, if it was not an airplane, where are those lights coming from? Could it have been from an alien spaceship? And if they were indeed from an aircraft, why the sudden disappearance? Did they notice they were being watched? So many questions and so few answers. Can you help? Can you clarify what's going on for us?
Cows found mutilated, some of them cut with precision and their bodies seemingly untouched with no bloodshed.
If you thought that was weird, you might want to strap up for a mystery that's as baffling as it is unsettling. This farmer woke up to find his cows victims to mutilation. For decades, this eerie phenomenon has left farmers scratching their heads, and in this recent clip, the livestock meet their demise in a strangely precise manner. They were found on their sides with faces cut along the jawline and tongues removed. Weirdly, 2 of the cows sport circular cuts, taking away the anus and external genitalia. What makes this scene even more perplexing is the lack of blood, as if the whole operation was carried out with surgical precision by an otherworldly force. The farmer, leaning toward the extraterrestrial side of the spectrum, believes that aliens might be harvesting animal parts. The big question remains, for what purpose? With many varying opinions, there is not one clear answer for this. If we were to ask you, though, what would you say is happening? Extraterrestrial experimentation, secret government projects, or perhaps a well-coordinated prank that has spanned decades? Share your thoughts with us. After an explosion was heard, this strange light was seen in the sky. It's bright orange and moved downward, vanishing into the night sky.
Oh, look! What is that?
Some say it's a flare gun, probably shot from the vicinity of the explosion as a distress signal. It's a common enough scenario and makes sense, right? Well, not everyone shares the sentiment, and many believe there's more to the situation than meets the eye. As the camera shakes, some keen observers point out the fact that the streetlight and the mysterious skylight share a suspiciously similar shimmy, and this naturally leads to some skepticism. Could the whole thing be the result of CGI? Many seem to think so. Believers in the paranormal, however, insist that there's something ominous happening in the footage. Personally, I don't see it, and Julius, my new assistant whose judgment I trust, doesn't see anything. Even Aaron, the believer of all things paranormal, thinks something might be trying to pull a fast one on us. What do you think?
What is that?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god. Something exploded. What is that?
This next clip has nothing to do with trail cams, but all the things to do with the paranormal. Take a look. At the start, the camera zooms in on a really cool bunch of trees that you'd expect from a typical woodland area. But in just a few seconds, things get super weird. Out of nowhere in this forest, a strange figure appears. It's like something from another world, all strange and mysterious, and it's high up on a tree. At first glance, this figure looks kind of like a person, but its features are all blurry and hard to make out. If you saw this in real life, you'd probably get some severe chills. Now, here's the kicker. This is a screen recording of footage from Google Maps, at least the uploader claims it is. This has left people arguing about what's truly going on in the video. Some believe it's a supernatural being, while others believe it's just utterly ridiculous. According to them, there's no way Google Maps or Street could capture things in the forest. Sounds logical, but is anyone with experience with these apps? Is capturing something like this even possible with the app? Please tell us in the comments section. Now let's dive into a classic Canadian tale that's been circulating for quite some time. Picture this, a tranquil Canadian lake, the kind of place where you'd go for a peaceful day out. But here's the twist. Beneath that calm surface lies a mystery that's kept locals buzzing for ages. Enter the mysterious creature, the one that doesn't fit into any neat category. It's not a whale, not your typical fish, and certainly not your everyday lake dweller. This creature has earned itself the affectionate name Agopogo, and it's said to be a resident of British Columbia's Okanagan Lake. Now, when we talk about Agopogo, we're dealing with something a bit elusive, to say the least. Descriptions of this creature tend to be as murky as the lake waters it calls home. But here's what we've got. A glimpse of its rear end, complete with a long, fish-like tail that gracefully sways through the water. Is the Ogopogo a living relic, a holdover from a prehistoric era, or just a quirky legend akin to the Loch Ness Monster? The truth is, we don't know, but we hope both these creatures are real, or at least one is. Do you believe in legends? What about ones about the legendary Bigfoot? Well, if you don't, perhaps this might challenge you, or not. Take a look. In this footage, we're introduced to not one, but 2 ginormous creatures that are seemingly exploring the woods. They've obviously not noticed that they're being filmed, but looking at them, we can't help but suspect that they might be Bigfoots. According to the uploader, this isn't the first time he's spotted these creatures. The area is a rumored hotspot for Bigfoots, and looking at their sizes, the gait, the fur, and all other features, I can see why even the paranormal community believes it's legit. But what about you? Do you believe these could really be Bigfoots? Let us know in the comment section. Imagine just taking a walk to clear your head one night when you run into this sight. Yes, that's a woman draped in a flowing white robe with her hair cascading like a waterfall. As if the sight is not ghostly enough, you can tell that she's mysteriously hovering above the trees. It's a sight that defies the laws of nature, simultaneously invoking fear and fascination. The air becomes charged with an otherworldly presence as she floats serenely, seemingly detached from the earthly realm. Who is she? A spirit? A ghost? Or perhaps a witch? Each of these is a possibility, making the whole situation not just mysterious, but complex and leaving the observer teetering between the known and the unknown. The camera captures a moment so subtle and quiet that it would even make a whisper feel as loud as a plate dropping. Have a look. Out of nowhere, a figure suddenly appears, moving fast towards who knows where. This mysterious thing looks almost like a ghost, with legs as long as that of an ostrich or maybe a flamingo. Looking closely, you realize it doesn't have an upper body. Its body is almost like that of a spider's web hanging in the air. Despite looking odd and weird, it's in a hurry, moving forward confidently, almost like it's invincible. Now, the big question is, where is this strange thing going and what could possibly explain its existence? Is it some kind of spooky creature, or is it just someone playing dress-up for Halloween? If it's the latter, then the person who came up with this costume definitely deserves the Costume Maker of the Year award. For all the brave Ghostbusters out there, the question remains, what in the world is this thing that's so hard to describe? If you're enjoying this episode and haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons already, this would be a good time to do so. Thank you for doing so, it means a lot. We have a bit of a creepy situation. Enough of the talking, let's look at the content. The image you're currently viewing was captured by a young girl who was sitting by another woman. Initially, they paid no attention to the picture. However, upon reviewing it later, they made a spine-chilling discovery. Above the young girl's head, an additional head appears to be floating in the image. In my view, it resembles the visage of an elderly man, his eyes hauntingly vacant. Could this possibly be the spirit of a loving grandparent drawn from the afterlife to share a fleeting moment with his cherished granddaughter? However, upon closer examination, the ethereal visage of a grandpa figure appears remarkably well crafted, almost akin to skillful CGI. Nonetheless, the uncanny nature of the image remains, inducing an eerie unease that's hard to shake. Embarking on a deep-sea expedition can unravel the mysteries hidden beneath the ocean's surface. For these intrepid submariners, however, their journey took an unexpected turn. In the murky depths, a webbed hand gracefully glides against the glass, unveiling a mesmerizing fishtail adorned in a luminous blue glow. The being's face makes a fleeting appearance, revealing hollow eyes that add an eerie touch to the encounter. The question echoes, could this be a glimpse of a mermaid, a legendary denizen of the deep, or something else entirely? The lore surrounding mermaids has survived for centuries, captivating human imagination with tales of aquatic beings embodying a fusion of human and piscine traits. Skepticism may cast doubt on the authenticity of such encounters, questioning whether the footage captures a genuine marine anomaly or an intricately staged spectacle. What do you think? The resurgence of a creature long thought extinct unfurls in the mysterious photo captured in the Australian wilderness. In 2019, a curious man on a walk stumbled upon a strange-looking creature, a harbinger of questions that transcend the boundaries of conventional wildlife encounters. Described as having a huge elongated tail and surpassing the size of a fox, the creature sparked speculation and led the observer to entertain the possibility that it could be a Tasmanian tiger. The blurry image, though somewhat reminiscent of the iconic extinct species. Now, before we don our Crocodile Dundee hats and declare the Tasmanian tiger's triumphant return, let's consider the facts. The thylacine, as it's scientifically known, was declared extinct in the 20th century, and no confirmed sightings have been recorded since. So are we witnessing a Lazarus moment for the Tasmanian tiger, rising from the shadows of extinction? Next, we have captivating footage that unveils a meticulously nurtured environment where lush trees have flourished beautifully and new plants are sprouting with life. At first glance, you might assume that this video clip is simply an ode to the wonders of nature. However, that assumption couldn't be further from the truth. As my eyes wandered through the abundance of greenery in this video, a dark figure caught my attention from a distance. Gradually, it makes its way deeper into the heart of the woods. It's not immediately conspicuous in the early segments of the video. How did the paranormal community handle the footage, you ask? Well, speculations arose, with some suggesting that this enigmatic entity could be an orangutan. Yet upon closer examination, the size, appearance, fur color, and head shape of the creature in question bear no resemblance to that of an orangutan. There's only one plausible explanation for this: Bigfoot. Yes, you read it right. Bigfoot captured on camera. The serene surroundings, coupled with the remote location of the sighting, add to the credibility of this astounding encounter. Could it truly be the elusive creature known as Bigfoot? This is where we invite you to share your thoughts and theories on this captivating sighting. We'll be reading the comments. Have you watched the movie Jurassic Park? If you haven't, then I must say I'm very shocked and surprised. If you have, though, then you've just seen how terrifying dinosaurs can be and look like. This next footage is like a nightmare and a dream come true all at once. Now let's examine the silhouette of this flying creature, if we can even call it a bird. Yes, this flying creature has wings and a beak, but doesn't it remind you of the flying dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, the ones that attack planes and snatch humans from the sky? The pterodactyl is what they're called. Discussions about the existence of dinosaurs have persisted for years, supported by fossil evidence. However, they're widely believed to be extinct. Some don't think so because of the hollow earth theory. Many believe they exist and are merely in hiding. Could this be one of those many who are in hiding, or is this video a hoax? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section. A tragic incident occurred in El Salvador when a car drove off a bridge. This tragic incident, however, led to a rather shocking discovery. A few moments after this happened, a truck passed by the scene with the camera capturing an eerie sight. A cloaked dark figure atop the vehicle, resembling the Grim Reaper. Given what had just happened some moments ago, this was not too shocking. The Reaper had come to collect the soul of the unfortunate accident victim. Now, logic often challenges us to find rational explanations for such occurrences. Some might argue that it's a trick of light and shadow, or perhaps an oddly shaped object on top of the truck. However, the symbolism of a figure resembling the Grim Reaper in the aftermath of a fatal accident is undeniably too much of a coincidence. Whether one believes in the supernatural or not, these moments can evoke a sense of awe and make us ponder the mysteries of life and death. But then again, we can't help but wonder if we just saw a Grim Reaper on the job. A man was relaxing in his home when he was startled by a loud noise coming from the gate outside. He went to check the source of the sound. As he approached the gate, he was taken aback to see a strange figure standing there. The person was unnaturally pale and shirtless with an eerie presence. Without any hesitation, the mysterious figure simply walked up to the gate and, to the man's horror, passed right through like a ghost and walks toward the house. Unfortunately, the footage cuts off right there, but the question is, what was that figure? It's definitely not human, or is it? Anyway, what do you guys think? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.